A part of the world is still facing the consequences of being underprepared for a pandemic, while another part of the world is ready to play the blame game. Some people started referring to SARS-CoV-2, the virus that we're fighting right now, as Chinese virus, and one of them being Donald Trump. Hi and welcome back to Logically's Explained Under 5, Topic Simplified Under 5. And in today's video, we explore the reasons of whether the coronavirus should be called a Chinese virus. Now before we go any further, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon for more updates. We've had a lot of viral outbreaks in the past century, starting with the influenza pandemic of 1920 to the one right now. And if we take a look at the history books, they've all been named from the region that they allegedly began from. In 1918, which was the time of World War I, several nations censored their press. This was done to keep their nation's morale high. Spain was the only country who covered this outbreak because it was a neutral nation. And so, people assumed that it was the origin of the disease. Thus, the name Spanish flu was stuck with the masses. And others followed: Asian flu, Hong Kong flu, Middle Eastern respiratory syndrome aka MERS, West African Ebola epidemic, Lyme disease, and many more. Naming diseases has had devastating outcomes. When the 2009 H1N1 pandemic was referred to as swine flu, Egypt ordered the slaughter of the country's entire pig population. Except, the virus was transmitted by humans and not pigs. This led to many people losing their livelihoods and several places being dubbed as unlivable. When HIV was first discovered in the 1980s, it was named Gay-Related Immune Deficiency, or GRID. This label led to further stigmatization of the LGBT community, the outcome of which meant that little was done to solve the issue.
Study which shows that the lifestyle of some male homosexuals has triggered an epidemic of a rare form of cancer.
Seeing the spread of politically inspired names, the WHO updated the guidelines to name infectious diseases back in 2015. The new guidelines stated that diseases won't be named after places, species, human groups, sexual orientations, religious or cultural identity. Nor would these names include terms like fatal and unknown. Instead, they aim to use generic terms describing the disease. These include symptoms like respiratory or pulmonary, seasonal or yearly, age groups like juvenile or maternal, and the name of the virus, like influenza or coronavirus. That brings us to the current pandemic. Here's a chronology of how the virus was actually named. It was first named 2019 nCoV or novel coronavirus, meaning new coronavirus. Then came the name SARS-CoV-2, aka severe acute respiratory syndrome. And then came COVID-19. So now we get back to the burning question: should we refer to COVID-19 as Chinese virus? This outbreak has already brought out the worst in several places in the world, even before it was dubbed as Chinese virus and even before it was declared as a pandemic. As horrible as it may sound, racism still exists, even in first world nations like the US and France. In fact, in India, cases of racism against students from the Northeast were reported. They were spat on and hurled with racial slurs because they look Chinese. So how does calling it Chinese virus make a difference? Well, to name a disease after a nation or an ethnicity puts the people at risk. An increase in the cases of xenophobia and racism stands as evidence for the same. Now on the other side of the argument, some say that this is the way that they can hold the Chinese government accountable for being irresponsible. In fact, this school of thought thinks that there's no proof for the Chinese government creating the virus, but it's their missteps that led to such terrible consequences across the globe. American commentator Daniel Plecker called out on Xi Jinping, saying that his prime concern was his reputation and power and not the virus containment or lives at risk. Now, should you be calling it the Wuhan virus? Well, we leave that up to you. Let us know what you think in the comment section below. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. This is Team Logically signing out.